I think I was overly ambitious just a little bit with my New Year's resolutions this year. Going from not doing journaling every day and reading the Bible every day and painting every week to starting doing those. It's a real challenge to fit those into your life when you're not used to it. So I have to prioritize those goals each day differently than I was in the past. Because in the past, I was prioritizing them every other day, every 3 days, something like that. You know, twice a week maybe. With like journaling and reading my Bible, I've been doing those, I would say, consistently. I've been reading my Bible either every day or every other day. And just making it a goal to read it every day has been challenging to me this year because I've been focused on so many different things that I've been so distracted through the whole day, and then I get to the end of the day and I go, did I even read my Bible? And then I'm reading my Bible, like kind of trying to catch up. I'm reading my Bible at night, right before I go to bed, and I'm not remembering any of it. It's more of like a cramming before a test kind of read through of the Bible, and that's not how I want to be reading the Bible. Same thing with journaling. I've been putting it off through the whole day, and then at the end of the day, I sit down and then I just ask my wife everything that we did today and what happened, because I can't remember. And then I write out on a sticky note all of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'll write it in my journal after, I wake up tomorrow or whatever. And then I wake up late or something along those lines, and then I don't write it in my journal. And then I go through another whole day, putting it off, and then write on a sticky note everything that we did that day at the end of the day. And it's kind of just playing catch up. So I've been brainstorming how I can implement these better, because I guess I went into these New Year's resolutions with the goal in mind, or like the idea in mind. It was like, the idea is to read my Bible every day, and the idea is to journal every day, and then the idea is to paint watercolors once a week. But I didn't have a good plan going into those ideas. So now I'm kind of brainstorming my plan for those ideas. So I know it's a little late, but the best day to do it was yesterday, and the second best day to do it is today, or something along those lines. I heard that once. So what my plan is for these goals or ideas is waking up early and accomplishing them. So I've been waking up fairly late every day since I've been out of work due to this injury. I've been waking up, I would say, around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock on my lazy days. And I feel like the day has already conquered me, and I'm just playing catch up with the day. And I feel a lot better when I wake up at 5:30 or 6 or even 6:30. I feel so much better because I'm clear-minded in the morning. I drink some coffee and I'm just like awake, and I'm awake before the birds even wake up. I love the feeling of being awake before the birds wake up. And I'm thinking that is like a perfect time to implement these personal goals or ideas, specifically my Bible reading and my journaling. I think that the watercolor painting can be done throughout the day, any kind of day. I just need to plan a day to do it each week, because like last week, I literally just forgot about it because I haven't been doing it. And it was just an idea that I had for, you know, when I was making the video about my New Year's resolutions, like that was my idea that I had. And I was like, that's a really good goal. And so I went with it for the video, but then I didn't implement it into my life like I need to. So for the watercolor painting, I need to pick a day and put it on my calendar, on my phone, and then it'll just pop up and remind me it's time to paint. Then I can sit down and plan a painting or do something off the cuff, kind of. I like the idea of just painting whatever I'm around. So it'll be a random part of the week that I'm doing this, and I open my sketchbook and I look around me, and what's around me is my daughter and the dog and maybe a cup of coffee, and that's it. And then I just sketch it out, draw over my sketches with pen, and then paint it just how it is, and then just have that snapshot, kind of just like a snapshot of my life on that day, at that time, with who I was with. And if that's us at a park, or me at work, or, because eventually I'll go back to work, or me at school, which I want to talk about a little later in this video. You know, wherever I'm at in life, I get this time and I get to sketch it out and paint it out, and then it's just like a good like spot in my life. And that's what I'll just write down, you know, like the date and the time, and then who I was with or where I was at. And then that will be the image that I painted. And I think that would be a really good painting idea. And then I just do that when my reminder pops up, or on that day that my reminder pops up on my phone. So the idea of reading my Bible and journaling every day, I think that it's a really good practice to sit down at the end of the day and kind of gather my thoughts on the whole day. Whether that's sit down with my wife and ask her, what did we do all day? Or go throughout the day with a sticky note and write down with my pencil that we went to the grocery store, I made lunch for all of us, and my daughter said this silly thing and we laughed and laughed. Or, you know, we called the grandparents and they laughed and laughed, and blah, blah, blah. And but I write it throughout the day. That's a good idea, to do it, writing it throughout the day, so that I'm not trying to play catch up at the end of the day. But I just need to make my journal more accessible to me. I need to keep it out and open on a page so that I'm jotting down these memories and these ideas and whatever else is happening. And then once I get all those memories out and ideas and whatever else pops into my head during the day, then I close my journal up, and then in the morning I wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I sit down with my cup of coffee at my desk, and then I take that sticky note, or the few sticky notes that I filled out from the day prior, and I stick it down, and then I write out how the day went. And then I do that, and then after I'm done writing out how the day went, I switch to my Bible reading. And then I use my tablet, or I grab my paper Bible, and I sit and I just dive into the Word, whatever that day's reading plan is, and I just give it my all my attention in the beginning of the day, and that will really center me for the rest of the day. So that's my whole plan right now on how to implement these in my life, because if I'm grading myself on how I've done for the last 12 days, I've failed miserably. I was doing pretty well in the first like 4 or 5 days, and then it just fell off completely. It did not stick well. I did not implement it well. I was doing more of that, like I said earlier, more of that like catch up and kind of cramming before the test kind of way I was reading the Bible, and the way I was journaling was not sticking well with me. So that's my plan. all right, I have to go into physical therapy now. And then once I'm done with physical therapy, I'll come back and we'll drive home and I'll talk about school and a couple other things. So I'll see you later. All right, done with physical therapy, done with, I went to Trader Joe's for my wife and got a couple of things, and went to Sprouts and checked on something, and they don't have it in stock, sadly, but that's all right. We can get it online, I guess. So back to my video. Let's see. Oh yeah, school, that's what I was gonna talk about. So just an update, I guess, if you're following along with my life and watching my vlogs, that so I've been out of the Marine Corps now for a year, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in April. And I haven't really done anything other than do a couple of different jobs, and well, we've done a lot of living, that's for sure, in those 2 years, but I haven't really done anything in the last 2 years other than do a couple of jobs and move back to California. And I've been thinking, and I've had this on my mind for a while now, about going to school, going to college, and getting a degree. And it's been, I've tossed the idea around a couple of times here and there, just talking to my wife and seeing what she thinks, and she's always supported me and said, you know what, do it. You're gonna love it, and you know, I think that I would really do well with something to do in that regard. And I have my GI Bill just sitting there not doing anything with it, so why not utilize it? So I've been doing some research. So I've been doing a lot of research, actually, and I found a really awesome school in our local area that does month-to-month courses. So all of their classes are 1 month long, and that's how you complete your degree, is doing one class at a time for 1 month at a time. That just sounds so awesome to me. As I've aged and my brain has, you know, developed over the years, I feel that I would really excel in this kind of class environment with one course at a time for 1 month at a time. That being one subject, that's all I focus on for that 1 month. And you go through the entire curriculum, and then you take a test at the end. You take an exam, and I think that I would do really well at that. So I've been doing my research, gathering information, seeing what if the GI Bill will work with that school, and it does. This school is, like, on the VA's website, this school is rated one of the highest ratings for veteran and military friendly schools, which is awesome. And I signed up to have an advisor call me, and then they called me unexpectedly. They called me on Saturday, and they work 6 days a week, which is cool. So I had an advisor call me, and we discussed everything that has to do with the degrees and all my questions that I had. And he answered a lot of questions, and he brought up a lot of good points that I didn't even think about. And so I'm weighing my options, but the degree I'm pursuing is a bachelor's degree in accounting. And this has been something that I've thought about for a while, just with how I like to help people. I really enjoy helping people with their finances, and I really enjoy building budgets and pointing people in the right direction when it comes to actually gaining control of their finances and living their life not being held back by their finances. And I feel like a lot of people out there don't have that freedom where they can just look at the budget, know exactly how much they're allowed to spend, and then spend that much money and not feel any guilt or shame when it comes to spending that money. And as someone who's followed a budget for quite a while now, it's night and day, the kind of life that you live with a budget, because you aren't guessing on whether you have enough money to purchase this item, or to go eat out, or to put gas in your car, or to get groceries. You're not guessing, because you know exactly how much you have to spend for the month or for the week, however you want to break it up. If you want to break it up to weekly or daily, if you really wanted to do daily, you can break up your budget onto a daily basis. But anyways, this has been a passion of mine for a few years, and I've helped quite a few of my friends and other acquaintances with their finances, and it's something that I would love to do professionally. And the best way that I see myself doing that is either starting with a YouTube channel and gaining clients that way, and helping people who are searching for answers and searching for a way through life financially, doing financial coaching on an individual basis. But I want something to back that up, and I've been seeking, credentials in that regard. And I think that a bachelor's degree in accounting will give me some credibility as to my ability to guide people and educate people on finances. Let me know what you guys think about that plan. If it's a good plan, if it sounds like a good idea. Maybe coaching online is a good way to start, or maybe finding in-person, clients that I can help. I've had a passion for helping Marines specifically with their finances for many years, and that's one thing that I want to continue, and I want to figure out a way that I can get myself known to young Marines. I want young Marines that have no idea what they're doing with their finances be able to find me, reach out to me and say, hey, I would really like some help with my finances. And then I can tell them, all right, meet me at this coffee shop on this day. We're going to sit down, bring your phone with all your bank accounts on it and credit cards, and let's sit down and build a budget. And then that can be my first introduction to them, is not actually building the budget as the first step, but going over their finances and seeing if they're someone that I can help them, because I want to be honest with them and let them know whether or not I can help them, and making sure that they're willing to get help. I want to gain enough traction with Marines that they start spreading the word about me, and then I'm able to just help more Marines, as many Marines as I can. And I would do, like, the first session would always be free, and that's just the sit down, the talk, and just going over everything that they have, goals and stuff like that. I would keep it at like 30 minutes or maybe 45 minutes, and just have them sit down and see where their mindset is on money and finances, because I'm not going to be interested in trying to coach someone who isn't interested in changing. I can be a life coach for people, but at a certain point I have to make it about finances or life coaching. And if I'm going to do life coaching, then I'm going to need a whole different business model for that, because life coaching requires a lot more personal time that I'm checking in on people and maintaining contact with them and checking in on them, and that's going to require a lot of work on my side. And so that the cost of a life coach versus a financial coach is going to be very dependent on, what we're trying to achieve. So I can inadvertently life coach someone with my financial coaching, because I think that financial coaching is somewhat like life coaching, because you are trying to help someone change their lifestyle, whether that's controlling spending or saving up for something that they want to buy, or saving up for a car, or paying off debt. These are things that you do that you're going to change your lifestyle to be able to achieve those goals. So in a way, financial coaching is life coaching, but if I'm going to be a full-on life coach, then I would require a little bit more money and a little bit more time on my end to engage with that. One other thing that I've been thinking about, not related to financial coaching, well, I guess it is related to financial coaching, is getting my CPA, or becoming a certified public accountant, just to have another credential that would boost my resume when it came to being a financial coach and whatnot. But it's not required. I've seen a lot of people that do financial coaching that have no credentials whatsoever. They just have a following, and that's what gets them the clients. Whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or one of the other sites, that as long as they have a following, they can gain clients because people see them and they're like, hey, I could definitely use that, and then they have a client. So it's just a thought that I've had, is getting my CPA, but it's not a requirement to achieve the goal of becoming a financial coach. One other thing with financial coaching is I would do it mostly online, which would be challenging for me because I love to sit down with someone in person, get a cup of coffee. I love to pay for the cup of coffee to make sure that they understand that I'm inviting them to sit down and help them with their finances, not make them spend money and put them in an uncomfortable spot. You know, I like to pay for the cup of coffee, just to put them at ease and know that, you know, I'm not going to be a financial strain on them. The other thing is, with that first session, that sit-down session, I would sit them down and see if they can afford to have a financial coach. Because that's something that's very important, is knowing whether or not this is something that's worth your money. If I'm gonna sit down with someone and help them with their finances, they need to know whether or not they have enough money to do that. All right, well, I've been all over the place with this conversation, but you get the gist. I'm going to school. I don't know when I'm gonna start, but the school is geared towards people who work full-time. So it's doable working full-time. And I'm finishing physical therapy in the next month, and then we'll see if I'm back to a working status or not, going full-time again at work, hopefully going full-time at work, so that I can start earning money again. And then planning out a good start date for school and actually committing to it. That will be the goal in the next 2 months. I want to have a start date, and I want to know exactly what I'm going to be doing and have my itineraries filled out with the school. I think that they talked about doing that in that first meeting, is that you would, once you enroll in the school, then they would start scheduling you for your classes, and then I would have a really good gauge of what day my classes are, when I'll be, if I'm going to be going in person or if it's an online class, and then all the homework and all of that. But that will come with each class. But that's the goal, is to have that all planned out in the next, I'd say, 1 to 2 months, and then hopefully going back to work full time in the next month or two, and to start earning money again. That will feel good. Yeah, thanks for joining me on this drive. I know I was kind of all over the place today, but if you followed along and you finished, give a thumbs up emoji in the comments. that you watched the whole video. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it if you think that I'm shareable. If you don't think I'm shareable, comment and say, Jacob, I don't think I should share your video because, and then tell me exactly why you shouldn't share the video. Because then I wanna know what I need to improve on. Or to give me a good laugh. Either way, please comment. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.